Hi, Tom Dixon here, your host of the Financial Experts Network, and I'm delighted to share with you a checklist of sorts that we've put together with the help of the #1 college financial aid expert in the country, Mark Kantrowitz, that will give you some, I think, helpful tips on how to complete that FAFSA form. So what I have on screen is a copy of what you can access for free. If you click on the link that's in the description field, all we'll ask is we need your email, of course, to send it to you, and we want to do this straight away. And again, once we do that, then we'll email you this form that you see on screen. So let me just show you a little bit of the highlights that are in this document, again, that we've called 12 tips for parents and students filing the FAFSA form. And this, again, was put together with the help of Mark, who, if you Google his name, you'll see Mark Kantrowitz comes up hundreds of thousands of times because he is the expert on college financial aid and things like the FAFSA form. So again, what I've done here is just highlight a few of the important points. The free application for federal student aid, more commonly known as FAFSA, is used to apply for financial aid from the government. What I highlight in the first tip is that though you might, for example, have to complete the CSS profile if you're applying to a private student college, guess what? They still use the FAFSA for federal and student aid. So again, overall, it's used to determine what you may qualify for as far as financial aid is concerned. Now, number 2, you want to make sure that you file the FAFSA every year. Even if you did not get any grants in a previous year, absolutely still want to file it. Why? Because there's one of the tips here that follows. Guess what? Little changes could make a change or an impact on what you might qualify for. Now, number 3 just talks about the fact that the form is available online. And then I highlight here that it all starts, if you're doing the FAFSA for the first time, you'll need to obtain a FAFSA ID. You can go to the fsaid.ed.gov site to get that. And again, it's all available online, and certainly that's how you want to complete the form. Now, number 4, very important point, if you haven't already filled out that form, the sooner the better, because guess what? The sooner you file, the more likely it is, if you qualify for financial aid, that you're going to receive it, because a lot of it is made available on a first come, first served basis. So very important that you do it quickly. However, one of the points or tips that we have later is that if there are some things that you can do to strategically reduce the amount of assets that you have to report, you want to do that before you fill out the form. So keep that. I hope you're paying close attention. Keep that in mind. If you have a lot of money, and that's all relative, in cash, for example, in a checking account or in a brokerage account, and you haven't yet filled out that form, and you have good uses for those monies, you would want to perhaps look at, again, deploying strategies before you submit the FAFSA if you want to reduce your reportable assets. Now, order of schools definitely will matter. If you're applying for state grants, it's necessary to list an in-state public college. So I'm just picking off some of the highlights. Definitely highly recommend using the IRS Data Retrieval Tool to really grab very easily your income tax related information that you're going to, your earnings that you're going to have to report on your FAFSA. I've used it many times and it works beautifully. Number 7 here, the 7th tip, you definitely, even if you think you may not qualify for financial aid, guess what? If you're taking the federal direct loans, you're going to need to have the FAFSA completed. That's mandatory. You can't get around that. Now, number 8, again, I just touched on this. There are a few ideas for increasing your eligibility for need-based aid. It really largely, the assets is what you can influence, because the income is from 2 prior years. When they calculate income and assets, or they consider those 2 aspects when they determine what you may qualify for. Well, guess what? Your income's sort of a done deal. But if you can reduce the amount you have in reportable assets, You need to do that before you submit the FAFSA. And again, you want to make sure it's the right move. You don't simply want to do that just to increase your aid if it would perhaps hinder the rest of your financial situation. Now, lots of help out there to fill out the FAFSA. You don't need to pay for that help. That's a big point as well. That's one of the tips. There's a 800 number. It's a Federal Student Aid Information Center that we would encourage you to lean on if you do have questions. If you're not, of course, leaning on your financial advisor or CPA or a trusted advisor that may have some advice. And then if you've had a change in your financial circumstances, be it through job loss, salary reduction, perhaps you didn't receive the same bonus, again, those might be situations where you could appeal whatever aid is submitted to you initially. And again, I would never hesitate to do that if your circumstances change. And then 11 talks about parents, in particular, separated or divorced parents, how that's treated. You really need to look closely at that. Again, as you can see, I highlight the income and assets of only the custodial parent are what is considered. And then 12, we sort of give a recap of the common FAFSA errors. So really encourage you to look at that closely. Things like putting the wrong numbers in. I mean, I would have somebody else do a check and balance with you as well. So I hope you find this little preview helpful. Click on that link in the description field to take full advantage. Again, we'll need your email. We do ask for your name so we can send you an email and personalize that email as opposed to just sending it anonymously. And if you like this, please feel free to click on the like, and then I'd encourage you to subscribe to our channel to get videos and access to some of our experts on topics not only like this, but things like student loan repayment or increasing your FICO scores and much, much more. So subscribe, and please feel free to share this link with whoever you like, and then click on the bell if you'd like to receive notice of additional upcoming webinars. So I hope you find this to be helpful, and wish you the best of luck completing the form, and I hope you get lots of help as well in terms of paying for college. So with that, good luck.